Hi, I am Steph at Steph Lives in Pages, and today I am reading 1-star reviews of my favorite book series. We must get to Amazon. For anybody who does not know yet, my favorite series is Zodiac Academy, and typically for me personally, I don't usually read reviews. I love going into a book blind. I don't want to know somebody else's opinion. That's one of the messy things that I've run into with being on the online book community, because I like to form my own opinions and I don't want anybody else's hatred of a character, love of a character, that kind of thing to kind of influence me. And in that retrospect, I am super glad I read Zodiac Academy before I was ever on the online book community. And this will be my first time reading any sort of Zodiac Academy review on Amazon. I've seen other people's review on like Book Talk and Bookstagram and stuff, and a couple booktubers have made some scathing reviews that I've unfortunately watched, but I thought this would be fun. I saw another creator do this, and if I can find her, I will tag her in the comments and give her credit, but let's get started. So there are 8 books so far, 2 of which are The Awakening and then The Awakening as Told by the Boys. There will be 9 books in total, but it's 2 of the first book. And then the second book, Ruthless Fae, 3rd book, The Reckoning, 4th book, Shadow Princess, 5th book, Cursed Fates, 6th book, Fated Throne, 7th book, Heartless Sky, and then the 8th book, which is not released yet, is Sorrow and Starlight. I obviously won't have any reviews to read for that. I'm gonna try and read like 5 or so reviews of each book in the series and give my thoughts. Before we get started and go any further, I do want to say I am more than aware that not every book and not every series is meant for everybody. No one is gonna like every single book that I like, that everybody, it's just a fool's errand to think that everybody will love every single book, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So if you continue watching, just remember that this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. If you don't like Zodiac Academy, that's fine. I love it. It's my favorite series ever. So don't come for me in the comments with anything. This is all my personal opinion. Zodiac Academy, Book 1. The Awakening. So this is the first original book. Let's click on the 1-star reviews. Okay. DNF for me. This was my first bully romance, and it's safe to say my last. This was my first bully romance, and I freaking loved it. The first half of this book was nothing but blood. Non-con. There's no non-con in The Awakening. I'm not sure what book this person was reading, but there is 0 non-con in this first book. And I don't think any of the books have non-con. Abuse and extreme bullying. There is extreme bullying. It's not the worst I've read, but there is bullying. Consent was non-existent. I'm not sure what we were consenting to besides, like, obviously no one consents to bullying. But again, there was no mature relations happening that was non-consensual. The 2 of the worst bullies are meant to be love interests, and I'm sorry, but no. There's no redeeming them in any way that would make a relationship plausible. So actually, I disagree, because as someone who's read the series many times, the character development is perfection. Love it so much. And the bullying is such an ideal, like, you need it to get such delicious character development. That being said, let me just remind you what I said. I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea. I'm not like this person, 100%. I hope he or she is living her best life. The only thing I disagree with is there's no non-con. That's not correct. Let's move on to the next review. Disgusting and stupid. I can't believe this was written by women. It felt like it was written by a man who believes women want to be assaulted. Again and again, the antagonists hurt, humiliate, and actively try to murder the protagonist, and the girls keep falling for it because the boys are cute. The book is absolute trash. TikTok lied to me. Okay, so that review is hilarious. I hate when someone says TikTok lied to me for the same reason what I've been saying. Nobody lied to you by telling you that they liked a book. When I say I loved Zodiac Academy, I'm not lying to you. You can read it and not like it. That doesn't mean anybody lied. I hate when people say that. I hate bullies. The writing wasn't bad. I gave this 1 star because I hate every character in this book except the twins. The bullying is so bad, I'm not sure I can continue on with this series. These characters are abusive and rapey, and I'm not into this shot at all. I think it was a typo on that last word, but trash. Garbage. It's inconsistent, immature, whiny, abusive. The Zodiac stuff is all wrong. The grammar. It's obvious this book wasn't edited. I don't get the hype. Making them 18 so the rape and abuse is okay is just wrong. There is so many things wrong with the series. Am I missing something? Because I've read The Awakening, like book 1. I've read it 4 times now, and there's no non-con in it. Like, none. I don't know what I'm reading that no one else.
One moment.
I don't know what I'm reading that everybody else isn't, but literally no non-con. Was this reviewed by an editor? I used my brother's account to buy this book, so this review does not reflect his opinion. Jesus, this book read like a 7th grader in composition class, was attempting a creative writing project and failed. I can't get past the writing style. I read some of the reviews and apparently there is rape in this book. Not even going to wait to find out. I'll probably sacrifice the book in a... I don't know what that word is. I don't know what any of those words are. It's apparently another series. Oh, these were fun. Hands down, the worst book I have ever read. Honestly, I can read almost anything and chew through a book or 2 a week, but this was just really bad. In a nutshell, it's 2 orphan girls who are shipped to a new Fae world, find out they are the most powerful people who have ever existed, then they are mentally, physically, and emotionally assaulted by everyone they meet, including the teachers at their new school. The only romance is when 4 of the most toxic men in history, who are responsible for some of their worst abuse, offer to take them to bed. What? So the girls are basically okay with it because the guys are hot, so it's all fine. Seriously, author, are you okay? This was hard to get through and definitely needs to come with a trigger warning and not the I read romance so I'm intrigued kind. This was so much fun. So let's move on to Ruthless Fae. This is book 2. Oh, Ruthless Fae has 0 1-star reviews. It's a 4.6 out of 5. These are 2-star reviews. Ruthless Fae has no 1-star reviews. The first book was a DNF. I just couldn't, but I gave the series a second change and tried book 2. Was it as bad as book 1? No, but it wasn't much better, nor did it suck me in. So I'm going to say that this series is a DNF for me, which is really a bummer since I love Fae books and really wanted to love this series based on the immense amount of great reviews. Maybe one day I'll try the series again, but right now it's a DNF. So this person, I actually love their review. I've felt this way with many books. Like, I'm not into this now. It's not my speed. Maybe I'll try it again another day. That's what they did. Good for them. A review just for me. I don't know if it's getting better, if I'm just invested now. I still don't really like the characters, but maybe bully romance aspect just isn't for me. I like this review too. Like, these people are just giving their opinion, which is fine. You're allowed to do that. They're being, like, honest and thoughtful. Love that. Equally as lackluster as book 1. I won't be finishing the series, so disappointed. I've heard so many good things. Definitely does not live up to any sort of hype, sorry to say. These 2-star reviews really aren't that bad. I mean, it's just people who didn't love the series, and like, that's fine. Because I guess, like, the further along you go into the book, you're invested. Let's move on to book 3. Awakening doesn't have any 1-star reviews either. Long-winded nonsense. These are 2-star reviews. I'd love to say I like this, but I'm not quite sure. I did not enjoy reading the 3 books of poor foreshadowing to get through half of a school year and to determine the twins' order form. That felt like the authors were playing me. I have feelings on that. Their forms should have emerged in book 1. Says who? Says who? Like, that wasn't what happened. These authors have some fantasy with alpha males who have no discernible communication skills, and that's just not attractive to read. What does this say about me, considering one of these alpha males is my top fictional boyfriend pick. Same crap, different day. Same story as the last two, no resolution. I'm bored, done with the series. Too much hate and sex with said people. Sexual assault and more, not for YA. I don't think it's marketed as YA, bestie. It's definitely not. A little better than the first one, but authors decided more sexual assault, extreme bullying, assault and battery. There's no assault, like sexual assault in this book. It's all, anything that happens in that retrospect, it's consensual. And like, I'm rereading book 2 right now, so I'll pay more attention because I don't want to ever tell anybody incorrect, like trigger warning wise, but I've read the whole series multiple times and I'll just have to pay more attention to that because that is something that sticks out to me. I'm not a fan, like I don't like it unless it has like something to do with the plot kind of thing. What a letdown. 3 books in, 1,500 pages read, and they don't emerge as dragons? There's some kind of Peter Pan twinkle fairies? Boy, this was a waste of time and a huge letdown. Bestie. They're like very rare and powerful. Peter Pan twinkle fairies. Geraldine, best girl. Geraldine is the only character I like. I keep reading in hopes that I'll start to like someone else, but I'm just disappointed every time. Everything in the kitchen sink. I wish I could give this more. I want to give this more stars, but I can't. This series is good. The storyline is good. The characters are good, but oh my god, why are these books so bloody long? It loses the captivity. It's so repetitive. They hate them. They like them. They hate them. They like them. Blah, blah, blah. It's like the author wrote everything she could possibly think she wanted to happen and then decided to keep it all instead of editing parts out. So I will say the chapters are so freaking long, but I love it. I want all the information of the series. Ooh, Shadow Princess has a 1-star ooh, it has multiple 1-star reviews. I'm excited. This is gonna contain Shadow Princess spoilers, so if you haven't read Shadow Princess, if you haven't read Zodiac Academy at this point, please stop watching. 1-star review, Shadow Princess. So let's remember, these people who are doing these 1-star reviews are 4 books in. Waste of time. I'll start out by saying I was super into the first 3 books. However, talk about too much detail on things that don't matter. It made it hard to get through a lot of sections. Also, the back and forth with Tori and Darius, like, we get it, she's stubborn, but dragging it out into the 5th book absolutely disappointed me with the direction it is headed in. I don't even want to read the next book. Total fail. So when I finished Shadow Princess, I was screaming, heartbroken. Like, there was no part of me that was like, I can't continue this series. It had its claws into me. I was deeply, utterly, totally invested at that point. So I cannot relate to this reader at all. I'm just lost and done. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Don't do this often, but I'm actually really upset and disappointed, which seems silly AF. I have seen this book recommended so many times and something stopped me. I was in a slump, so I decided why the heck not. I am an avid reader and have read things so dark and twisted and taboo that I honestly didn't think I had a limit in what I read. I found out I do in fact have one, though, thanks to book 4. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. Fell in love with the first 3 books, the angst, the strife, the mystery of it all, but I seriously cannot go on. I'm so frustrated with this book because of one scene, the Tori and Darius divine moment scene. I could handle the Clara fiasco with no problem, even with Orion dying, but the divine moment scene had my love for this book die so freaking hard. Think of the ash the Vega twins turned nymphs into. That is seriously how my love for this series died. To explain why, the only thing I can think of is why couldn't the strife and struggles between Darius and Tori were going through still have happened if Tori decided to say yes? Like, did she not grow a darn bit at all? That's the part that blows my mind. She couldn't even grow a little? Even if the sister authors found a way to turn around a divine rejection into future installments, it somehow would just feel like BS. The authors pushed just for the heck of it, and I wouldn't buy into that kind of plot arm twisting. I'm not sure how many others have been able to push through, but for me, I guess this was the one dark scene I could not get past. I'm so sorry, girls, sister authors. I loved the ones I did read until this particular scene. I actually love this review and I want to talk about it a little more. The scene that she is telling me telling us that she didn't like is the Darcy or Darius and Tori divine moment. That was soul crushing. So she's not continuing on because of that scene. And that scene, don't get me wrong, I still to this day am upset over that scene. Couldn't stop. No happy ending here. F this book. How can these people read these horoscopes and not understand them? Are they really that stupid? I get Tori is badass and how much of a bitch does she really, but how much of a bitch does she really have to be? She won't shut up long enough to listen to anybody. And then the perfect guy for her begs her to love her after he lays himself bare for her over and over again. Yes, I get he did some messed up stuff, but damn. If someone tells me I could have my soulmate or unloved and miserable the rest of my life, I'm taking my soulmate. Plus, they just talked about needing allies to stay alive and she pushes away the most powerful ally she could have. I hope you kill her sister in front of her. I hope you kill her sister in front of her because that is basically what Tori just did. Without Darius, the rest won't follow them.
Oh my gosh.
This is hilarious. Book 5 is Cursed Fates. This is another one of my... This is probably like where the character development, in my opinion, gets so freaking good. There are 1-star reviews, 116 total. Overall rating, 4.6. Honestly, these books get really good reviews regardless. Like, overall rating. Just bad writing, easily one of the worst books I've read. I never review books, let alone leave negative notes on books, but readers need to be wary before starting these books. I make a habit of finishing a series no matter how poor of a job the authors do, but this is by far the worst series I've read. I really, like, this is the best series I've ever read. I'm obsessed with it. It really puts it in, sometimes it makes me question my taste, but then I see that this book has an overall 4.6 rating and I'm like, I'm not the only one. Oh my gosh, how much more? How much longer can you drag this book along? It is so slow. They do a bunch of dumb stuff before they do what they should, then wonder why they are always losing. This is really getting annoying. I just need to know the end, but I won't be telling anyone else to read this. I hate this book where it takes 20 books to do one thing. I love it. The world's most shallow, nauseating heroine. I keep reading these books in hopes that the heroine would mature and be somewhat likable character. In fact, she becomes less likable as the series progresses. I'm unsure if this is to drag the series out for more books, hence more book sales, or what. At this point, I am hoping Tori gets beamed up to another planet because it could only improve this series. Tori is everything to me. Tori is my favorite Vega. She is one of my top 3 favorite Zodiac Academy characters. I'm hoping Tori gets beamed up to another planet. Absolute garbage. I cannot believe y'all wrote this trash. How could you do this to the characters you spent so much of your time building and loving and making us love? I'm so angry and devastated. And this bull that Tori loves Lionel is trash too. On what planet did that seem like a good idea? It's sickening. Like, I don't even want to read the next book because I'm so sick about this. I've never been so sickened by a plot twist in my life. Hey, I agree. So sickened, but I was also here for it. Like, I gave Cursed Fates 5 stars. Epic fail. No creativity, no thinking. Nothing in this book makes the main characters likable, and the ending is such a mediocre way to make the next book more interesting that I'm beginning to believe the authors ran out of ideas. I will not be reading their next. I think this book is magnificent. I think the authors are geniuses. They are some of the most brilliant writers I've ever read so far. I don't agree with that. Cursed Fates is one of my favorite books of the series. I love Cursed Fates. I think the character development in that book alone is just... Book 6 also has delicious character development, so let's move on to Fated Throne. What a shame. The whole entire book was depressing. I really enjoyed the first few books, but the last two, too many bad things happened. I couldn't wait to get through it so something good could happen, but it doesn't. It just keeps getting worse. They're not wrong. Not good. The story is dragging on so slowly, my interest is practically non-existent now. Can't relate to that. I couldn't even continue reading the book after a while and had to skip several hundred pages just to read the end, only to find out it doesn't end. Sigh. I've invested so many hours and read thousands of pages of the books, and it's gotten to the point where I might just walk away. Don't start this series. Sick and twisted. Writer is super cruel to women. Why anyone would write such cruelty and call it storytelling is sick. Stopped reading these as all I did was bawl my eyes out. Hard on my soul to continue. Do one more of Fated Throne and then move on to Heartless Sky, and then we'll be done here. DNF. Just disappointed. I feel like this usually happens when people make a series too long, got 55% in and said forget it. I'm glad I read on KU. I was planning to buy the full series when it was done, but after this I'm glad I didn't. First off, it's getting a little ridiculous with Tori and Darius. They are trying to fix things and he swears he will never do her wrong again and spend the rest of his life making it up to her. Even if he never gets to be with her, he then tells Orion that the guys still plan to take the crown from them. So that is a frustrating part, even for me, of the book, but I also love it. We are gonna go to Heartless Sky. This is so interesting to me that someone would read Heartless Sky and rate it 1. Like, you're invested, bestie. Like, you've read 7 books at this point and you're gonna give it a 1 star. I mean, I guess to each their own. Like, I've read every single book of Zodiac Academy. I'm obsessed with, so that's why I can't understand this. But I'm sure, like, if I think about it hard enough, I'm sure there's a series that I just stopped because I was like, no thank you. I have to remember that because I'm like blinded by my love for Zodiac Academy. I have to remember, like, this has probably happened to me at some point. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. I'd rather be tortured by Lionel Sear than read anything else from these authors or this series. It's clear the authors are trying to extend what little royalties they gain from their product. That riles me. However, if you enjoy 600 pages of word porn, literally some intense blush-worthy, and 300 pages of unstable storyline, otherwise just check out the clip notes. All right, so that actually irritates me. I don't agree with any of that, but okay. And we'll just move on. All I'm gonna say, actually, we're not just gonna move on. All I'm gonna say on that is we had been through such turmoil through book 1 through 6, and they gave us some really good freaking content in book 7. In the beginning of book 7, I loved every second of it. And then you got to the end and you got your heart stomped on, but they did give us some good times in 7. I do not agree with people saying it's a fluff book. Would be 0 stars. So I was invested even though the books are long and drawn out. I don't agree that the books are drawn out. But I am one to finish a series once I start. With every book, I just kept hoping the books would get better, but it never happened. The series could be done in 4 books. I don't agree. But no, we have 8 books, and the last one is a retelling of the first. The 7th book answers no questions. So this person's mistaken. The 8th book is a retelling of the first book, but we're getting book 8. It's Sorrow and Starlight. So actually the Heartless Sky reviews rile me, but I can understand the people's upset that they read 7 books and didn't like it. So I can see that a little. This was super funny. To anybody who read this series, or if I happen to read your review, like, I'm happy for you that you decided to stop reading a book you didn't enjoy. And I would never shame you for not liking Zodiac Academy because I know it's not for everybody. That being said, Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti are my favorite authors of all time. I am working through their backlog. I have read every Zodiac Academy book, including the novellas. I have read their Ruthless Boys series. Their Death Club series is probably one of my top 3 favorite series and books of all time. So dark, so twisted, so hilarious. But yes, that being said, I understand they're not for everyone. This video was all in good fun. Again, if you didn't like Zodiac Academy, I'm glad that you have the ability to post a review and share your opinion and share your thoughts. Actually, if you don't like Zodiac Academy, I would love to know what your favorite series is. Like, what do you like? I love having constructive conversations with people who have varying opinions. I think it's very fun and beneficial. If anything, this has been so fun to film. It hasn't made me change my love for Zodiac Academy at all. Doesn't make me question no, it doesn't make me question anything. This series and these authors are everything to me. That was super fun. Maybe I'll do that for Death Club. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to be friends on Book Talk and Bookstagram at Steph Lives in Pages. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more content and author interviews and bookstore vlogs and all the things. And again, thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye!